keeping it real goes wrong.
Hello, welcome back to the show. Welcome back to Bam Smith TV. Welcome back to the live stream. If you're on Twitch, if you're on YouTube, what's up, y'all? That's one of my favorite clips from the Chappelle Show, when keeping it real goes wrong. And that's going to be the topic of this conversation today, because I felt inspired to talk about this because I've been running into a lot of people lately that have these distorted images of themselves. You feel me? Like they think that they're like this or they're like that, and they're really not. So I wanted to talk about that, but it's we gonna get back to Brenda and see what she really is, because she thought she was a real bitch. She's gonna find out that she's really not. Another case of when keeping it real goes wrong. You see what happened to Brenda Johnson. She kept it real and she pushed her real-o-meter to the max, and she found out that there's always a bigger fish. There's always somebody more realer than you. There's always somebody better at something than you. So your best thing to do is to remain humble. We'll get to that in a minute. Motherfuckers over here already in the chat with the bullshit. Sound like some woman shit. Explain, Ellie. You always be saying these goofy ass statements. You got to explain this one. Yeah, sound like some woman shit. But anyways, it's always a bigger fish. There's always somebody out there in the world that's badder, doing it better than you or whatnot. But what I wanted to key in on the part is, and use this as a teachable moment, Brenda Johnson's ass whooping and her pain as a teachable moment to talk about self-sabotage. You feel me? Self-sabotage come in many different forms. Sometimes we don't even know when we sabotaging ourselves. Sometimes we don't even know when we fucking ourselves over. The fact of the matter is that, we're the center of our own universe at the end of the day, in our own eyes. So a lot of times we might be doing something, might be acting away, might be getting out of character from the person that we want to be to who we are. And then that's how we get this distorted self-image of ourselves, and that'll lead to us having a self-sabotaging moment. But let me pull it up for people who don't know. I know y'all, a lot of people is visual learners. Self-sabotage is often driven by negative self-talk, where we tell ourselves that we're inadequate or unworthy. No, not only that. Sabotage, the root of it is you lying to yourself. You telling yourself one thing when it's something else. You feel me? And that's how I break down self-sabotage as well. You feel me? You could be lying to yourself, telling yourself, that you're doing the best you can. In reality, you're not. You could be lying to yourself and telling yourself that this person is treating you like shit, when in reality, they're not. You could be telling yourself that, hey, I'll find another. In reality, you're not. Okay? The self-sabotage that we have for ourselves is at an all-time high. The delusion that we have for ourselves is at an all-time high. And all of this goes into cognitive dissonance too, as well. That's another sign of a thing that we do as people with ourselves, like where we'll tell ourselves of one reality and it'll be something else. I run into a lot of people like that. I run into people that self-sabotage for some reason. I run into people that lie to themselves, essentially, and have a certain level of cognitive dissonance. And I'm not saying these other people, like, I haven't sabotaged myself. Yes, I've sabotaged myself at some time. I think we all are. We all have, but having a self-awareness enough to know when you self-sabotaging and when you fucking yourself over and pull yourself up out of that, I think that to a certain degree, it's almost inevitable to a certain degree, because we all got to experience life through our own lens, and we got to live it the way that we see fit, or the best way that we know how. But at the end of the day, in living life, make sure that you're trying to learn from your mistakes. You get it? A lot of times, a motherfucker will keep hitting their head up against the wall. And then now we getting into a whole nother separate mental disorder, which is insanity. The definition of insanity is doing things over and over again and expecting a different result. You know, one thing that I see that some men will do is they'll blame somebody else for why they down bad. One thing that I see what women do is they'll blame another person for their fucked up actions or their fucked up decision in life or whatever fucked up decisions that they have, their circumstance. Let's say, let me not even make this a male or female gender thing because there's so much of that shit going around where it's a gender battle and shit like that. And I talked about that last week and I'll probably talk about it again because it's such a relevant topic. You know, whole platforms have been created behind the gender war. You know, I reference Kevin Samuels in the relationship shit and Fresh Fit in the relationship shit because that's what they mostly talk about. But what I'm going to talk about is just giving you some free game in general. You know, matter of fact, let me tell you one thing that I was just having a conversation with somebody the other day. I was telling them, you know, be careful. The monsters you fight, you might become one. You see what I'm saying? The shit that you think that you not, or the thing that you hate the most, sometimes you'll become it. You feel me? Sometimes you saying, oh, I'll never be like that to my damn kids. You feel me? Like as a parent, maybe you might say, I'll never treat my kids this way. I'll never treat my kids that way. You know, and you fighting so hard against it because, say, for instance, your parent treated you away instead of trying to understand that, heal from whatever that person put you through as a parent or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to give you no therapy session. This is kind of like somewhat of my TED talk right now. You feel me? Because I know, but yeah, you need to learn yourself, know yourself. That's the number one thing that I'm trying to say. Know yourself. You feel me? Because it'll cause you not knowing yourself will cause you to fuck yourself up quicker than you believe. You know what I mean? Not knowing yourself is how people can play with your top. You feel me? That's another thing. And I think that what Brenda Johnson did in that video is indicative of what a lot of people do in life. You know, instead of addressing the issue with her nigga, she wanted to address it with another female and cause her to get out of character, to do some stupid shit and get herself, you know, she had to take the consequences that came with that. When you make irrational decisions, when you know, act out of character, when you misbehave, the only way for you to learn from that mistake is sometimes you got to suffer the consequences or you got to get the punishment. You feel me? You got to go through some shit a lot of the times. Like, I'll give you a perfect example. And this is when it comes to people, right? When the people that you have in your life, right? You might think that every last single one of them is replaceable or disposable. You know, that friends, family, business partners, or whatever, you know, your situation is. You might think all of them motherfuckers is replaceable, even if they have been an indispensable asset to you, even if they look out for you, even if they treat you good. You might take all of that shit for granted. And you might think that, you know what, that don't mean shit. And at the end of the day, you thinking that, you being like that, you're going to continue to tell yourself that. And really, again, like I say, if you're treating people that treat you good, if you're treating people that treat you good and you're treating them like a piece, if you're treating them bad, then you're a piece of shit to begin with. You know what I mean? If you treating people that treat you well bad, that says more about you than it says about the people that treat you good. You feel me? And you could fuck yourself over or sabotage yourself from having good people around you just like that. Just like that. That's another form of self-sabotage. You see, I'm giving you the game as it was told to me. Now, I myself, again, like I said to you earlier, I may suffer from this. I may make mistakes. I may fuck over myself, but I know myself and I'm self-aware enough about myself to know how to fix my mistakes or learn from them. People, you need to learn from your mistakes. Stop doing the same shit over and over again, shooting yourself in the foot and then turning around and blaming that nigga over there. He shot me in the foot, Your Honor. They did this to me. They did that to me. Okay, what did you do to cause it? You know? I be seeing so many videos out, so much bullshit people say on a day-to-day basis about how this person did them and how they were, you know, caring about them or how they invested they all into that motherfucker and they treated them like shit. Again, you know, it's not a good feeling for that to happen. But on some level, I'm not going to say it, but I'm going to say it. You caused that to happen. And that's the reality of it. I know it stings a little bit knowing that reality, you know, because we look for in other people what we already have within ourselves. We associate ourselves with other people, you know, depending on how we connect with them. So if we associate ourselves with people depending on how we connect with them, we're looking for ourselves in them. Don't you get it? We looking for ourselves in other people. And when we deal with other people and we see something that we don't like about them, if you then don't use that as a moment to say, you know, what is it about me that I can learn from that situation? If you don't like, say for instance, hold on, my shit out of focus right quick. All right. Say for instance, you work with a motherfucker. Well, I'm using this I'm just saying this as a joke. Say for instance, you work with a funky motherfucker. You know what I mean? Or if you hang out with a funky motherfucker, you know, motherfucker gonna think like, you know, like, damn, why you hang out with this stinking motherfucker? Like, why don't you, you know, tell them to kind of put they shit together, kind of get their hygiene in order. You feel me? If you never told that person to get their hygiene on that together on a certain level, you like being around that funky motherfucker, or you a funky motherfucker yourself. You ever think about that? You feel me? I know they preaching all today about tolerance and all that shit, but fuck that. All right. To a certain degree, you got to tell a motherfucker like it is. You feel me? And you have to be open to a motherfucker telling you like it is about yourself. You dig? Because if you already self-aware and you already know that about yourself, then somebody telling you something about yourself, you can agree. You can explain to them why you're this way. A lot of people say, Joe, you know what? You're an asshole. You're rude. I say, I know this. But you know why? I'm a type of person that it ain't nothing till it's something. I'm laid back. I'm chill. If you do something to me, I'm petty though. I'm going to do it back to you. So that's where the asshole comes in at. You feel me? I'm not just walking around like that trying to be rude and messed up to everybody. A lot of people got a different perspective on me depending on what side of me I choose to give them. But you see, that all comes from me knowing myself. You feel me? But I also had to learn the lesson of how being an asshole can get me messed over. I got into a lot of fights I got into damn them motherfuckers trying to kill me. Okay. All right. And getting into those situations, getting into enough of them will teach you enough about yourself so that you can not put yourself in that situation again. You underdig me? Do you understand? Or am I losing you here? You gotta care enough about yourself to learn from your mistakes, learn from the shit that you put yourself into. Try to become a better version of yourself. You know, enough of that saying that, oh, this person did this to me, that person did that to me. All right, so what are you doing to fix it? What are you doing to change it? You know? Hold on, I got some more stuff that I want to read off to you. Got some more stuff that I want to read out to y'all. Let me pull up. Let me get to this other note that I wanted to share with y'all. Just gotta doing two things at once, y'all. Bear with me for a second. Yeah, also don't play with people. Don't play with people. Okay. I know what I wanted to say. Boom. As a matter of fact, I think I got it over here. I got it right here, y'all. Funny thing about this same topic right here. My sister had then shared me. She gave me this book from one of her psychology classes. It's great having sisters as teachers. They can give you books, especially when you like a bookworm like me, or you like learning about different shit like me. This is called The Essential Element. She put it in her binder. Damn. Maybe I shouldn't take it out of the binder. But anyways, this is like the first page of the paperback book that she had in her binder. The Essential Elements for Effectiveness, Optimal Functioning Through Positive Psychology. And one of the sections in here talked about conception and misconception. All right. And I was like, damn, Suge. My sister Sugar, by the way. Appreciate that. But I was like, damn, Suge, you know, that's right up my alley. Misconceptions and perceptions and all of that shit, you know, different trains of thought, different philosophies and stuff like that. That's all me. I love that type of stuff, you know. I love to get into different ways of thinking, because I think that positive thoughts can change the world. I think that not only positive thoughts that can change the world, but constructive thoughts also. I don't think that you always supposed to think everything's glitter and gold and everything's magic and, you know, you shit rainbow stars and shit. No, motherfucker, I tell you, okay, it's gravity outside. Gravity exists. If you jump off a bridge, you're going to fall down and you're going to die, or you're going to be very injured at the very least, depending on how high the bridge is. Okay. So we got to have level-headed thinkers, but we also got to have people that are real enough or are wise enough to share with people how they can improve themselves. You feel me? It's a bunch of self-help books out here, self-help people, self-help individual out there. I think that one of the best self-help books now, and I think it was popular a few years ago by Robert Greene, 48 Laws of Power. Matter of fact, but motherfuckers, you know, people use some information about self-help in a wild, wicked way. You know what I mean? They don't just use it to help themselves. But yeah. Let me put it on the screen for y'all so y'all can see the book if y'all ever want to check it out. I'm gonna put a link to the book. I got the audiobook version of it. I'm gonna put a link to the book down here. You know, I think that listening to audiobooks and stuff like that, that's you know, a lot more beneficial than people would think. Okay. All right. Put it on the desktop. Oh my damn shit. Okay, here we go. 48 Laws of Power. It's this book. It's this book right here. Yeah, this book right here. It's basically about a bunch of different essential tools. Matter of fact, we're gonna go to it because I see this little graphic right here. See if we could pull it up on the screen. All right. Desktop. Download. All right. 48 Laws of Power behind me. And it shows up blurry. This is shit. I'm gonna try and read it from here, ladies and gentlemen. Never outshine the master. That's the first one I heard about that one. Win through actions and not argument. Appeal to self-interest, not virtue. Do not isolate yourself. Concentrate your focus. Find your rivals' fatal weakness. Ignore what you can't have. Win both hearts and minds. Use enemies, don't overtrust friends. Let others work and take credit. Oh, hell nah. You know a white guy wrote this book. That's what I'm saying. Certain shit people use in these books, they can weaponize it. So you gotta be careful about what you read because depending on the individual, you run across a motherfucker like me who already know damn near all of this shit. You trying to weaponize some of this shit against me. And another thing, let me say this. You don't even need to read that book to know how you giving somebody the power or how you taking power from yourself or how you making yourself weaker or how you making somebody else stronger or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, the world is based on manipulation to a degree, right? We manipulate our phones in order to give us information. We manipulate code on the screen in order to give us apps. You feel me? We manipulate our children at a younger age in order to raise them how we want to. You know, whether you want to realize it or not, but the word manipulation, I know it has gotten a negative connotation, but that's what most people do. That's what everybody does, really, to a certain degree. That people only want to listen to the manifestation, the positive part of it, without realizing you have to manipulate your brain, the thoughts surrounding your mind in order to get an idea. You feel me? So it's just your intention behind which you do this is what determines the outcome or the effect of it. You feel me? I'm pretty sure if the government told all of us that they were manipulating us in order to get taxes in order to get all of they create a facade of a orderly a society with laws and all of this shit, when really, we live in a dystopian reality. Most people, if they knew the truth, or if they knew that they was being played with and shit like that, they would try and wake up. But then at the end of the day, they put in a catch-22 with what are they going to do if they wake up, if they try to come out of the situation? All you can do is focus on self-improvement. All you can do is focus on being a better you, get into a position where, you don't have to rely on these types of things. You don't have to rely on this government. You can fly to a different country if you don't like this one. You feel me? I think that's why certain people kind of sell themselves out for success. Certain people sell their soul for money and shit like that, because they want to get to a point where they can fly all over the world and do a bunch of shit. Also, I wanted to say this too. Every time I see somebody put travel on a dating profile, that's just a side note. If I see you ever put travel on that shit, bro, immediately left swipe on your Tinder apps, on your BLK apps, on whatever app you got. If a motherfucker got travel on there, swipe left. Because people that always thinking and always talking about traveling without talking about the plan that they have to do in life, they're setting themselves up for failure. They're setting themselves up for self-sabotage. And I'm not talking about these motherfuckers. If you already financially stable, you're already well off, you can afford to do those things with great frequency, more power to you. But if you're one of them individuals that have not put yourself in a position where, you can take a trip every year or every 2 months or every 6 months or whatever, and you're still doing that, you're fucking yourself over. I knew a chick like that who used to do that. You feel me? It was the wildest shit in the world to me. And then when you come back, you're struggling. Never put yourself in a position like that to struggle. If you have to work hard to get to a certain position in life where you can do anything that you want to do, then just work hard. You feel me? Try and strive for your success. Try and get to a point where, you can do whatever you want to a certain degree. But at the same time, don't fuck yourself over in the process of that, because it'll make you take longer trying to get there. All right. Yeah. Back to what I was saying about the lies that we tell ourselves and the misconceptions that we might have. Let me see. Hold on, I'm going to my notes, y'all. Also, another important point, another piece of free game. Don't be one of them people that, again, like I say, it depends on how you was raised. It depends on your worldview. But I'm just gonna tell you like this here from me, from my perspective. I'm a person that, I like to think that I have integrity. I like to think that I have honor. If you're not one of those people, I don't judge you. I don't judge you if you do whatever you have to do to get to wherever you have to get to. But I judge you. All right. All right. If you compromise your morals and you compromise your integrity to get in some type of position where you're doing whatever, hey, I judge you. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't care. It is what it is. You can be one of these motherfuckers that you to get successful, you're going to sacrifice something, whether that be your time, whether that be your energy or your body or whatever it is, right? Your patience, whatever, your money, all of those things. All right. But when you sacrifice something that you can't get back, like it was a porn star named Mia Khalifa that was talking about that. And this goes into my other point that I made not too long ago about digital footprint. Hold on. I'm gonna pull up that video. All right, yeah. All right, all right, all right, all right. A lot of the fellas know who Mia Khalifa is, and if you don't know who she is, Google. I challenge you. I challenge you. Google her. All right. Well, anyways, she was this was going back to my other point that I made. This is a whole nother episode, another stream that I did about digital footprint. You know, the images that you put of yourself online, they stay on there forever. And they tell the story about who you are as a person. You feel me? So you kind of fuck yourself over depending on what you put out there about yourself. You feel me? So I'm very conscious. I try to be very conscious about what the message is that I'm sending to you people. I think that you people, the internet. I mean, let me not say you people. Okay, that sounds a little bit insensitive. The internet, the internet people. Because if I don't know you, then it is what it is. Very conscious about the message that I tell you, because with cancel culture nowadays, which I don't give a fuck about to a degree, but not only with that, but just people that just don't got nothing else better to do in life, you know, or with people that later on down the road, they have a different value than I might have. They're going to pull up all of their information. They're going to say, oh, is this you? And I want to be able to look at anything that I put online and say, yeah, that's me. With a straight face. You feel me? Because I know what I was putting out was the real me. You feel me? Who I really wanted to put out. You feel me? I try to be real and authentic to me as possible when I'm on here. Now, a part of that is, like I say, I got a lot of morals and standards and shit like that about myself. So I'm not going, let me just say that you ain't gonna never catch me out here down bad like Andrew Gilliam. All right? You ain't gonna never catch me out here down bad like that, my boy. If you don't know about that story, look that one up too. But
step by step, how did a girl who was brought by her parents to the United States from Lebanon, your home country, schooled in the United States, clearly smart, went to university in Texas, read history. How did you get involved with the sex porn industry?
I don't think low self-esteem discriminates against anyone. It doesn't matter if you come from a great family or if you come from a not so great background. I struggled my entire childhood with weight, and I never felt attractive or worthy of male attention. And suddenly, my first year of college, I start losing all this weight from making small changes. And by the time I graduated, I was ready to make a bigger difference. I felt extremely self-conscious about my breasts because that was the first thing to go when I lost all the weight. I lost about 50 pounds. I don't know how many kilos that is, or stones.
Well, it's a considerable amount of weight.
Yeah,
it changed your body, it changed you physically.
Completely. So my biggest insecurity was my breasts. So I wanted to more or less go back to what they normally were. And once I did that, I started garnering all of this attention from men, and I was never used to it. And I felt like unless I held on to it and kind of did what was asked of me or what was expected of me, it would go away. And after feeling what it was like, that validation and, you know, the compliments for the first time, I did not want that to go away.
You were spotted, I think, on a street. I mean, there you were a young graduate wanting to sort of find a job, and you were spotted on a street by a guy who said, I can work with you. And clearly he opened up and said, it's the porn business. What was it in you that far from running away was drawn into it?
It wasn't, that's not how it was. It wasn't just, hey, do you want to come do porn? It was more so, oh, you're beautiful. Like, would you like to do some
all right.
Frankly, as a money machine.
Absolutely.
All right.
But you still had no advisors. You had no lawyer. You had no nothing. So
I was what 21-year-old has a lawyer on retainer?
All right, motherfucker. Listen. All right. Let me get off the screen. All right. I thought she was going to say something worth listening to, but clearly that's not the case here. All right. Let me pull it back up. Fuck it. So you know what I'm talking about when I talk. all this shit she's saying, I get it. I completely understand what you said before about you having self-esteem and self-doubt and all of that stuff, and you wanting to, you know, guys manipulating you because of your low self-esteem is understandable, right? But you grew up in a Muslim family, in a Muslim household. You know, a certain part of you rebelled against that, had to rebel against that in order to do what you doing, because you Lebanese. So this is where how you're raised comes into play. You feel me? In this situation, however she was raised, however she acted, man, it's so much wrong with what the fuck she's saying. But I'm not gonna be an asshole about this to this lady, because I don't know this lady personally, and she ain't ever do nothing to me. Let me just say that not in nothing that she said did I hear self-accountability. And yeah, I put myself in that position, or I wanted to do this. Like, can't nobody convince you to fuck on camera unless you want. Like, you know the whole setup of a porn shoot? They have a bunch of cameras and lights and all type of people in that damn room. Can't nobody convince you to do that shit if you don't want to do that shit. All right. I don't give a fuck for all the money in the goddamn world. Nobody convince you to do that if you don't want to do it. You feel me? It's other, like, you got to build the mind, not just the body. You feel me? Sometimes in building the body, you build the mind. But for her, that wasn't the situation. You feel me? Because she wasn't really building her body. She was self-conscious about her breast. She says, so she went and got breast implants. Now she got all of this attention and stuff like that. But you got to know, you went and got it to get the attention. Now you surprised that you get the attention? What kind of shit is that? That's like you posting a video of you shaking your ass online, and then you surprised when you get the attention. You surprised when that fuck up some other shit for you. Like this notion, this delusion that some of these internet people come with, you feel me? Or these illusion that people in life come with, where they tell themselves, you know, reality is supposed to be like this, instead of evaluating it for what it is. It's a misconception. It's a misconception. A grave misconception at that. A grave one. You know, I was having a conversation with my nephew and telling him the other day, you know, oftentimes I talk to my nephews and nieces because I don't have no kid yet. When I have a kid, I want to make sure that I'm able to provide the best life possible. I want to make sure that I have as much time as possible to be there. You feel me? Because I feel like, you know, the children are the future of our world. You feel me? I mean, they say it all the time. They said it to us when we was kids. I just believed them when I was a kid. You feel me? Well, excuse me. You know, we don't oftentimes, we don't act like it a lot of the times. I think that once we get to adults, we forget that path or that journey that we traveled from all the way from our childhood up to be an adult. We only want to remember the bad times about it, or the overly good times. Anytime when you're always bouncing between an extreme of an emotion to another extreme of an emotion, you can get a clouded perception of yourself, or a perception of your experience in life. You feel me? You got to be careful with the extremes, you know, and the different shit that you tell yourself. You feel me? You got to be careful. You got to try to see everything, every perspective in different situations. That's why I try not to cut people off when they talking, you know, unless they just saying some bullshit and I know it's junk and I can't use it at all. You feel me? I try to not cut people off when they're talking because I feel like you can almost get knowledge from anybody. Now, out of that knowledge that they give you, it depends on how you use that knowledge that makes it become wisdom. And of course, wisdom is freedom. Don't forget Crash Culture, the podcast show, is going to be back on YouTube on Bouncement TV. But anyways, all right, that was a little shameless plug. But like I said, Wisdom is freedom. And in gaining the knowledge, knowing what to do with it or knowing how to apply it is what's going to be used to make your life better, easier, or help you overcome a situation or survive something. You feel me? That's all I'm trying to stress to you people. Stop shooting yourself in the fucking foot. Stop making yourself take longer to reach your destination. Figure out what is your purpose and run toward that. I'm giving you gems. I'm giving you gold here, ladies and gentlemen. Giving you gold. As a matter of fact, because it's Sunday and because, I'm feeling like this message that I'm delivering is a real nigga message. It's not one of those play messages, even though I got little jokes in there in between and whatever. But I'm going to tell you the scriptures. Hebrew 12.1 tell us we must run with endurance the race that is set before us. The third and final lesson is a familiar phrase. If you build it, it says he will come, but I'm going to say they will come. If you build it, they will come. What does that mean? That means that whatever situation or scenario that you're trying to set up for your life, you feel me? The more you're working toward that, the quicker you'll notice when somebody's not trying to build with you. The quicker you'll notice people that don't add value to your life. The quicker you'll notice when you are fucking yourself up or holding yourself back from getting to that goal, because you have oftentimes, depending on your goal or your expectation out of life, you might have a large and lofty goal. Again, like we was talking about earlier, if you're one of the people that want to be able to travel whenever you want to, however you want to do it, you want to live in a nice house, 2-story house with, 2 cars, one for you and your wife or husband and a dog and da-da-da. You want the American dream type of lifestyle, all right? It's not easy to achieve. And it's not easy to achieve it in a righteous way, because there's so much temptation out there in the world to take the easy way out. Some people take shortcuts. Hey, some people still get there. But, again, with that, it's a lot of pitfalls that they might not tell you about that they have to overcome daily because of that. Feel me? If you're a person that, say, for instance, you want to be a IG model or OnlyFans model, right? And this is the quickest scenario that I can give you with that. I could think of other ones, but I want to be able to give this to y'all quickly. If you're an IG model, OnlyFans model, right? It's being a model, nothing wrong with it. It's a very respectable career. You've seen as being a beautiful person, or you've seen as being luxurious, and you rocking clothes on the runway, you walking it down. Tyra Banks, all of that stuff. I know that those model industries have their own little quirks to them about them. And, everybody talk about the dark secrets of Hollywood and shit like that. I'm not even going to get into that, because if I get into that, I'm going to get into the Ari Spears and Tiffany Haddish situation. I don't want to get too thrown off. But anyways, back to what I was saying. You're a model, okay? Now, you could be a runway model, like wearing different fashions and styles and clothes. You could be a hand model, wear different rings. You could be a feet model, pose for different magazines and stuff like that, taking pictures of how clean and how good your feet look. Whatever model you do, whatever type of modeling you do, because it is presenting yourself is somewhat like the product in those situations when you're a model. You just do it with a high level of integrity. You feel me? When you're doing it with a high level of integrity, that's when you get respect from people that don't even know you. That's when you get people looking up to you, say, I want to be like this person because they so great. But also be careful too. With great success and great power come great responsibility. You might get to a level of success and people might look at you and be like, damn, why I ain't like that? And that's a different conversation. That's watching out for the haters and people that are jealous of your position. There's always somebody trying to knock you out your spot. You gotta be careful with those downfalls too, especially when you got one of those highly sought after spots. But anyways, you do that with integrity. You feel me? You can become a model with integrity. You can be on the front of Vogue or whatever magazine it is out there, or you could be like Mia Khalifa, be a porn star. That's a model too. You could be an OnlyFans model. Be like what's that girl name? Black China. She's making millions of dollars off OnlyFans. But how do we view those people that bare their butt naked body for cash? How do we look at those people? You can be real with yourself. You can have your thoughts to yourself. For a second, I'll give you a moment there. You know how they view. You know how you view. You know how you look at them. You don't respect them. You don't respect what they did to get to that position. Because some way you felt like that was cheap. All you had to do was get butt naked. You knew niggas was gonna pay for that. You knew it was a bunch of thirsty motherfuckers. All right? You knew that. You took the easy way. Taking the easy way, you get no respect for that. Right? Only thing people gonna respect about you is that bag that you got behind it. The only thing they're gonna respect about you is your money. If you fuck off all that money, what they gonna have to respect about you? You think anybody gonna give you any call to do some more business with them? Because now you're gonna be known as a motherfucker that made $1 million off of getting butt naked, and then you shitted it all away. Some free game. Free game. Watch what you're putting out there about yourself. Be careful how you build your kingdom, because it could collapse. You feel me? The only thing I'm saying is how you want to be remembered. How you want to be remembered by other people as well as yourself. You under dig? Got some. I got another note about people. And this is me talking to you about how to deal with this within yourself. But now I'm going to tell you how to deal with it in other people. Sometimes people are energy vampires, and when they come into your life, they just want to drain you dry of whatever positive energy you have and stalwart you from reaching your goal. Beware of these motherfuckers. It could be a relationship. It could be a friend. It could even be a family member. A motherfucker will sometimes throw a fucking stick in your bike spoke. You ever put a stick into your bike tire? Somebody ever stuck a stick into your bike tire before? It's happened to me before. I went flying in the air, scraped my legs up, bust my shit wide open. I looked up at the sky and said, God damn. What did I do? Why did this motherfucker do this to me? That was the first question I asked myself. And then I said to myself quickly, there was no reason. There was nothing that I said or did to this person to cause them to do it. And then I had to whoop their ass. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Like I said, you can be the person to do it to yourself sometimes. But a lot of times you got to be careful of other people that be trying to do it to you. Be trying to stick a stick into your bike tire, trying to slow your progress. Watch out for the motherfuckers that's trying to slow your progress down. Nah. Watch out for them energy vampires. Watch out for them people that you trying the hardest to try to, bring them up with me. Everybody can't go. That's the fact of the matter. If you bout something for real, if you trying to get somewhere for real, you got to understand and know everybody can't go with you to that spot. That's what happens sometimes, you know. I think Fat Joe, and I'm gonna reference Fat Joe because, you know, even though he said what he said about hip hop and shit like that, that's a separate issue. But he was talking about it at one point in time, how he had to cut down his crew because he had too many niggas around him, you know, and they was causing all type of problems for him. Oh, I'm gonna pull that video up for y'all. Yeah, you gotta make your circle smaller. Pull up the video right now. Let me add that to screen.
Puerto Rico. We flew there on 2 private planes. I'm the only one with money. So I'm sitting there one day, I can't sleep. And I'm looking up at the ceiling. I said, you know what? Call everybody. All 50 of the guys come. And I said, yo, listen, man, shit ain't the same. I ain't got it. I said, I can't really hold y'all down like that. But you my brothers, but I ain't got it. Out of the 50 guys that was there, only 6 of them said, yo, if you dead broke, I'll be with you, man, no matter what, every day.
Crazy,
Those
bro.
are 6 guys that's still with me now.
Straight up and down, bro. Everybody can't go, and you're gonna find out who really for you. You feel me? You know, you're gonna find out who really for you, my nigga, at the end of the day. You feel me? It is crabs in the barrel, Ellie. You is 100% right. Trying to pull the next one down. You feel me? Trying to stop your progress or slow you down or hate on you for whatever reason. You got to be mindful of these motherfuckers, bro. Or these people. Let me stop calling them motherfuckers. Let me stop cursing for they say, oh, they demonetize me. Even though I don't have this, my conversations, I like to give it to y'all blood raw. I like to talk how I normally talk. So I ain't trying to censor myself or whatever. I ain't gonna say it ain't for kids at all, because what I'm giving to you is free game. I'm giving you gems, but excuse my language to a certain degree. But fuck YouTube. I gotta say whatever it is, how I'm gonna say it, how I'm gonna be. I gotta be myself. I gotta be who I am. But yeah, it's crabs in the barrel. You feel me? You gotta watch out for the ones that's gonna try and pull you down and hold you back. It be just like that. For me in my life, you know, sometimes when life is going good for me, when I'm going to the gym and I'm working out every day and I'm getting all types of money coming to more of my way. You feel me? And I'm living life however I want to live life. It's fun. It's a miracle. It's right when I find a female to start talking to and get into a relationship, and then they go to shit. And then they go to shit. You got to be careful of that too. The person that you like a lot, the person that you have that affinity for, that motherfucker can be the most powerful motherfucker. They can be the most powerful individual in holding you back. The person that you care for the most will be the person that has the most power in holding you back. Like I say, that's in your relationships with your girlfriend, boyfriend, or family members or friends. You got to be careful, because them people that you care for the most sometimes will be the people that's holding you back the most. So, you know, you got to have a real big conviction about you. Your decision muscle got to be strong. You feel me? Your decision muscle got to be on point. When you feel something or when you think something, I say I have a process that I go through with everybody. But also let me say this about this too. Sometimes misery love company. A motherfucker will learn you just to hurt you. But let me leave y'all with this. You gotta again, you gotta be one of them people that you can be proud of and your future self can be proud of. And the child that wanted to be something grow up can be proud of too. Or at the very least can understand whatever it is that you're going through. You got to be that one, you got to be that individual that whoever yourself is, you're gonna look back and say, man, it was a long journey to get to this point. But goddamn, I did the fucking thing. You feel me? Your chest poked out a little bit more. Your head is held a little bit higher. You know, when a motherfucker trying to tell you, nigga, you ain't shit, you be like, fuck you. All right? What you mean? You wasn't with me shooting in the gym. You wasn't with me all them sleepless nights when I put this work in and I grinded to get to the point where I wanted to be at. As a matter of fact, you was trying to pull me back. You was trying to hold me back. And those are the most gratifying moments. Again, I'm just speaking from personal experience. This is how I see myself in life. You know, I would love to do that shit to a motherfucker because I'm competitive, which is a nice way to say I'm petty at times. I am. I know it fucked me over sometimes, you know, but yeah, in life it balances out because I'm super duper nice and caring to go along with that. That's the other side to me being petty, because if I feel like that if I feel like I didn't went hard than a motherfucker for a person, if I feel like I didn't put my all into anything and I didn't get this reciprocated in dealing with an individual, oh yeah, it's fuck you forever. You feel me? Because you didn't have to do that. You could have just told me straight up, this is how you feel, this is what you think. Hey, you know, Joey, look, man, you know, I don't vibe with you like that because of this. You feel me? And a lot of times, sometimes a person won't do that because they don't care. It ain't them. They don't got to wear that shit. You feel me? They want you to wear their bullshit. Like I say, energy vampires, watch out for them. Misery love company. You feel me? The people that you surround yourself with, again, like I said earlier, you feel me? I be seeing the future when I be speaking. I be saying shit and I be referencing it. You know, I be tying shit all together. You feel me? You know how I do. You associate yourself with people that you see yourself in. So a lot of times they say you are the company you keep. If you're a drug dealer, more than likely you're going to hang out with other drug dealers. If you're an athlete, you're going to hang out with other athletes. If you're an asshole, you're going to hang out with other assholes. If you a thought, then you're going to hang out with other thoughts. If you a simp, you're going to ingrace yourself with other simps. Whatever your forte, if you will, or if you have multiple fortes, you're going to hang out with people that you see that about them. You see yourself, you know, in them. Like I said earlier, you see yourself in them. You know? And if it's something that you don't like, learn from it, overcome it, and don't associate yourself with it again, because then it's going to pull you back into it. So, you got to be careful. You got to be more careful. Let me pull this other thing up and give y'all my closing remarks. Ellie, you got anything to say that you want me to post on the screen before we get up out of here? All right. We'll leave y'all with this. Be careful, too, of ungrateful individuals, that no matter what you do, no matter how good you treat them, they'll never be grateful for it. They'll never be happy. You got to be aware of those people. Again, like I said, misery love company. Sometimes when somebody's just a miserable person, they want to bring you down to their level as well. All right. If they can't appreciate you for you doing the best you can, if they can't appreciate you for trying as hard as you can, if you know that you're trying as hard as you can. Now, it's a difference if you're telling yourself of that. That go back to what I said about misconceptions, a diluted sense of yourself, a diluted perception. Some people have cognitive dissonance, you know, in certain situations. It depends on the scenario. We all socially acceptable levels of insanity. You feel me? To a certain degree, you don't know what makes this person, you know, wig out or bug out. You don't know where their mind is going to disseminate from reality. You don't know where they're going to go with whatever they're going to go with. You feel me? Because you don't know that person. You can learn, you can sit around a person and try and talk to them your whole life and you'll still never know them. You feel me? Because they lived however long before they met you. The person you might know the best is, it might be your kids. And even at a certain point, you might not even know them. All right. The only thing you could know is know yourself. It's the only thing you can know. It's yourself. With great certainty. And that's if you're a person that's focused on knowing yourself and being self-aware. All right. That's only if you focus on that. If you're an individual who, again, like I say, if you're delusional, everything that I just said to you, this whole stream, it doesn't apply to you because you're not even going to recognize the truth in what I'm saying. You're not even going to recognize the game or the knowledge of what I'm telling you. Again, wisdom is freedom. I told you. All that just means is having the knowledge and knowing when to apply it. All right. Let me give me my theme music. Another episode. Next time, guys. We out.